mean, Ryan and I have been going back and forth through things in via email. We've had a couple of meetings to talk through some things as well. And I walked through them on how to do chats and how to work the agent software and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're thinking about, how things are reacting on this side.
Yeah, one of the issues is it's a little bit culturally different. They basically code everything from scratch. And my sense is you're doing a lot of configuration of a pre-existing system. And so they tend to want to get down into the bits and bytes really close. And I think you're looking at doing the configurations.
Well, so there's the chat OAuth settings. They haven't
yeah.
given me anything to put in here, right? And they haven't done it. So not really sure what they're seeing on the OAuth side.
Uh-huh.
But as far as the chat goes, there's no extra authentication going on.
Okay.
So I would need clarification on that to kind of say, hey, here's what we need to look at, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So I see some chats in there that they're doing.
Yeah.
I see stuff that they put in.
This is 9 days ago. So can they see this?
I got to see what they have as far as the role goes.
Or would would it make more sense for us to sort of curate their access to it?
Yeah, it might be okay, but let me see what role Josh has. Chat agent.
Because I'm happy to sit in and facilitate. If you show us how to do it, then I'll just make myself available whenever they need it. That might free you up from some of the stuff.
They just might not know how to get to it.
Yeah.
This chat agent is not set up to receive chats. I'm the right one. Well, and it's kind of funny because they're receiving chats, so I just want to make sure I'm on the right one here.
Well, that one said 9 days ago too.
I was on the wrong row. Yeah, so this one said it directly. They should have access to see that.
Okay.
Right, so they would just do the waffle. If you talk to them before, or unless you want us to jump on a call, but they just do the waffle, and they should see digital under there.
Okay.
Right, and that's that digital platform that I popped out. That's this piece right here.
Okay.
But my guess is that if this is the API sending this stuff over, then I can't see the pre-chat survey from when this chat started. It won't show up here.
Right.
But if they're sending this over, it's there.
Right. No, it sounds right. All right. Maybe the thing is for one of us to see. Let me look at the waffle. See, I don't have digital on mine, but that doesn't mean shit.
So let's schedule a call where I can walk them through it.
Okay, let's do that, and then I can unload that part from you altogether. We still. That's not to say we don't need some collaboration with those guys, but I don't want to saddle you with this little shit.
Yeah, and I just want to, if this is what they're expecting to see from what they're sending over via their API, then we want to just confirm that, right?
Yeah.
The OAuth piece, I'm waiting for them to give me that.
Okay.
Right, and essentially what it's going to be is it's the leave admin is going to have to authenticate twice. They're authenticating into the portal, then they're going to have to authenticate into the chat.
Well, isn't the chat form picking that up in the goal for that to just be picked up off that authentication already?
Yeah, I think that's their goal. I'm just hoping that it works the way they want it to if we put the endpoints in there, Tom. Right?
Yeah, because the idea was, and this might be just rehashing it, right? But once they authenticate, the thought is that portal team would be able to grab that information that's already there and then pass that across. And then we would use that to screen pop stuff and be able to show that it's authenticated.
Yeah, that's the idea that I thought we were doing. But when I talked to them, they wanted that extra level of security of signing again into the chat.
Right, but I think that particular sign-in can be, that secondary sign-in can be server level as opposed to user. And what
Right,
they
and
want to do is when they set up the chat linkage, that they just want to know that it's secure, period. Not necessarily that this user is the one that did this, but that this system is the one that connected to chat. And so, I mean, there should be able to embed a secret or something like that, so that handshake takes place. We know it's secure. We don't really give a shit who it is, because, you know, as you guys said, we have these application level variables that already identify who they are. So,
right,
But
right. And
Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say that their OAuth piece that they're sending you in that email, Paul, might be that server side piece, right?
right.
And I don't have anything in the system to recognize that here. So I think to answer those questions that they have for that, we need a meeting with them so I can kind of look and see what they're thinking about.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Because
Go ahead, Tom.
so Chuck, when they're sending this information through from the portal to us that we're seeing in that pre-chat form, doesn't that have to come across to us through an API?
It does. So it's already
Okay.
secure.
Yeah, so let me just walk through it to make sure that we're all on the same page. So they've had to build an API to be able to communicate with our environment for this to be able to get there in the first place, right?
Correct.
Right. So Paul, for them to be able to create that API connection and be able to pass us this information in the first place, what is in place is they've had to go in and register on our site. They've had to get that client ID and client secret. They've had to take that user account that they're using and get the keys and the secret keys, do all that encoding to be able to authenticate it to get it to us in the first place. So we already know that it's coming from you guys, that it's already authorized because they're passing that key to us when they're using that API.
Right.
So this OAuth piece to make somebody else reread it seems like a redundant extra step that doesn't need to be there because they're already in a secure communication, encrypted communication with us through our API using those client secrets and secret keys. And, you know, there's 4 different keys that are provided to authenticate that account before it can even communicate to us.
Right.
And not only that, it's
maybe
it's a FedRAMP
that's
server.
what they're missing and thinking that they needed the OAuth in order.
Yeah. I think the API piece of it should get us to that point already. Where OAuth, I think it adds a whole nother layer of complexity. It doesn't need to be there because nobody's getting into that. Well, I guess there's certainly geeks in the world and that want to try to hack shit. But the generally speaking, that system is securely connected to our system through that API and those keys and secret keys that are, I can't remember the encoding that they had to do on their side.
Mm-hmm.
To wrap all that stuff up. So they're able to communicate with us in the first place. And those things are passed every single time or through whatever the process is on the API on how often they have to be renewed, I guess. But we don't let them in unless they have all that stuff available in the first place. None of that.
And that's part it's kind of new to me because I just went through this process with Greg just a few days ago to request the credentials.
That's correct.
To access the API. So they have gone through that whole thing.
They've done that exact same thing, completed it, and it's authenticated into us to allow it to take place in the first place.
Yeah, and not only that, it's a FedRAMP server, which is
on top of it, it's FedRAMP. So yes.
Yeah. So I think we need to have the meeting that you discussed. I might try to peel off Josh and talk to him a little bit about it because one thing they may be misunderstanding is that, you know, there is a user that's defined within the portal, and that's going to be the leave admin. There is going to be a user defined within NICE, and that's going to be the agent. But when they get all the way over to ServiceNow, there really isn't a identity correspondent to that leave admin all the way over at the beginning. It's a server-to-server connection, and the leave admin identification is casual. It's not affirmative because they never asked us to implement that as a unique identifier. So I think that might be where the confusion is, but I'm gonna talk to Josh early next week
Okay.
and to see if that's it, and then on the heels of that, try to set up a discussion if needed.
I think they have what they want. I don't know that everybody knows what's in place to enable it, to understand what's already there, right?
Yeah, and they may be thinking that ServiceNow has a record of all the leave admins, and it doesn't.
Right.
It only gets it out of convenience. It
And
doesn't get.
then, right, and then we're creating a connection through ServiceNow into us, or us into ServiceNow as well, through the same mechanism that's already been done by DFML, so that end to end, everybody has to authenticate in one way, shape, or form to get the data for us to push it across or for us to pull it in, kind of a thing, right? So all the end pieces are all in the middle with us in the middle of it. The only way to
Okay.
get to it is
All
by
right.
doing that process.
I buy it. I buy that. And like I said, I'll talk to Josh and then reach out. But in the meantime, at some point, Chuck, you can show us how to do this business you just did here to get to this place so that we can field those questions directly with them and they don't have to bug you about it.
Yeah, Paul, let me see what your user has, and I might be able to get you digital look.
And basically we're recording this, so I'd be able to recreate it anyway if the digital thing showed up in my menus, which it does not.
I think he's part of the admin group. I can't remember. Yeah, he's on the admin side.
Yeah,
Admin,
but I can tell you why he doesn't have it.
the digital engagement. Yeah.
Cool.
Refresh your screen, and you probably will have it under that waffle. Might take a minute, but.
All right.
Does Eddie have it too?
If he doesn't, I can give it to him.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, Eddie, you want it?
In the waffle.
I'll take anything that'll make me more important.
Yeah, he's our tester, so we want him to try to break shit once they fix it.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to give him other stuff, like to the chat and everything?
Please don't. Please don't.
Ooh.
Hey, settle down on your clicks.
I'm gonna log out and log back in.
Will that allow me to create a chat on like if I want to test all the way through?
No. Well,
like,
yes and no. But let me get you set up, and if you want to test chat, I can get you set up to do that.
Yeah, that's why we have him. That's his role. We want him to be able to do that.
But you can test it from within our portal. You won't be able to test from within our platform. You won't be able to test it end to end because you'd have to go through the portal on DFML's side to test it that side.
Correct. No, I understand that, but I would be able to kick off a the beginning of it from NICE into ServiceNow. Yeah, that's what I want to be able to do.
Plus, by process of elimination, if his end works, we can say, no, that's working on our end. It's your end that needs fixing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it yet. It must take a while to percolate through the system.
Well, it might, but let me also set up a role for it too.
Yeah, he wants all of those.
I wish we had a master button at the top that says give all instead of having to do it individually.
I'm sorry, Thomas. You'll have to submit an enhancement request.
I'm busy that day.
Yeah, and it'll take 18 months before it even gets to R&D.
Don't worry.
Before it even gets denied. I'm sure it'll be denied. They'll see my name and just be like, the heck with that guy. He's an a-hole.
Yeah. So, Paul, if you logged out and logged back in, you probably have it now.
Yeah, it's there now.
So Eddie, if you probably log out, log back in, you can see it. But to kind of kick off the chat and do it from this system into an agent, you would just go to ACD points of contact digital and chat, and then this little piece right here.
Okay.
So you can do it. Actually, we might have to do another place. Nope, it'll work from here, and it also works in another place too. So
then you just have to make sure you're assigned the skill as well, right? So that you can take it as if you're an agent. So you can initiate it and work it and have it assigned, or get with Morgan and one of the two of you have the other side so you guys can chat back and forth.
Okay.
But technically it would route now. regardless of DFML stuff, within our platform, you can test it, use it, route it to an agent or what on a test piece of it, and they would get that experience on the test side.
Yep. So you are now skilled to take chat.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir.
All right.
You're welcome. If you want to see like what they're gonna see, like the leave admin will see, I can show you a different place to do that. So, no.
Yeah,
Is-
Chuck, we don't need to do that right now.
Well,
We have
No,
a
it's
bunch
still
of-
within the CX. It's still within the CX1 system, right?
yeah.
Okay,
So that same place where we went to the chat profile, right? The points of contact digital. You just click on the guide here.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, initialize and test. It then brings up the widget like they would see on the website.
okay, perfect.
Very cool.
And again, shoot me an email if you get stuck, and we'll jump on a call and walk through it. So
Me
Okay,
as well, Eddie. You can chat with me if you need.
okay, I appreciate it, guys.
so now that Paul, you see it, it's just a waffle, and Eddie, you should see digital there too. So
Yeah. Well, way down at the bottom under the waffle.
Yeah, it's all the way down. Yep.
Okay. All right. I think we got that part done. Greg, you have the floor.
3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Have a good day.
He's
Good
muted.
day. Yeah, come off mute. If you're talking, Greg, you're muted, buddy.
I'll
Sorry.
send him in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
there.
was. Okay. So I don't know what's more important right now. Are you guys doing all right on your side? Do you need anything from me?
No,
Um,
we're doing okay on my side. I'm confirming we can hit custom tables, right? Because Nice configures certain things within it, and the documentation says you need the API name, like we've already talked about that via email. So I'm just confirming we can do that. I'm actually cool thing ServiceNow has is I can get a free dev site and run testing on my own.
yeah.
And if we can hit it there, then I'm gonna try setting up using your custom table and running tests that way to see if I can hit the table at least. So I don't know the full answer. I'm 90% sure we can use a custom table. It's that 10% that I question. So
Okay.
I want to get that testing done to make sure. But I have everything I need. Right? I actually even renamed your Greg test authentication that we put together. I renamed it and I'm using that. So
Okay. Yeah, and if I don't, I'm not 100% sure if I gave you the right thing. So what I gave you is what is the table name that I would use if I pointed to something in ServiceNow. So there's like the label and then there's like the system name. That's like the system name for the table. If I have to set something up different, but yeah, if you were to hit it from the API, that would be the table name. So I think that's what you need, but if it doesn't look right to you and you have like another example of one they've out there, if it doesn't look like a string like that, let me know.
yeah, it's just when we're looking at setting up the custom record or create record, there's certain tables that Nice is configured to set up with ServiceNow.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that we can hit that custom table and work off of that. If we can't, we might have to pivot a little bit. So
All right. Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah. Yeah, because you had those preset options before I even did anything, and yeah. Anyway, well, I'll think about that a little bit more. If you want to chat about that further, if you get like completely stuck, let me know.
sure.
Because I know you had that list of tables that seemed like almost like you guys were picking them, but then you're like, well, maybe it's the way those tables are set up. We were pointing to them, so.
No, I'm using the IDs that are in that authentication piece,
Mhm.
right? That's what I'm putting in my workflow, but I'm scripting everything else, right?
Okay.
So I just need to make sure that my script will be able to hit that custom table and do what we need it to do.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at right now. I have all the codes there. I just need to make sure that it'll work with the custom table.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of new to this auth 2.0 stuff. So I'm just kind of throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. But I just want to make sure that, like, the assumptions I'm making look good to you guys. If anything jumps out at you, let me know. Because I don't want to be spinning my wheels. I'm sure there's something wrong that I'm doing, but if I'm just pointing the wrong thing or something, I just kind of want to eliminate any of those things as I do my trial and error, because it'll save me from, a lot of pain. Do you guys know? I know we submitted the request. I believe when we submitted the request for the client ID secret that we did client secret post. Are you able to confirm what we picked?
We don't see the submission aspect of things.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't see that at all.
Because depending on which one we picked, there's different headers I got to pass. So I think we did client secret post. Because I was trying to copy something another guy did for another API. I'm kind of wishing I picked basic now, but if we wanted to switch, would we just have to resubmit a form or something? Resubmit that form?
Yeah, and I'd be happy to do that. And we could.
I think it should still work either way. So.
Okay. Give me the word, and I'll do it. What we'll do when we submit it, though, we'll need to send it to Thomas, because Crockett's gone, and if they don't send it, he blocks them at our firewall.
Yeah, because there's two different ways I can send credentials. One's in the basic authorization header, and then it kind of sends this down to the profile. But then this one you actually got to put in the header. So, but the basic one looked a little more straightforward. So I'm kind of wishing I picked that one now. Anyway, I've been going through the documentation. I believe I've got these correct. I kind of follow documentation to run the curl against the contact, and it gave me back a authorization token URL. And this I'm just guessing on, but I don't think that's what's stopping me right now. All right, so there's a couple things that I'm kind of not sure on. So I'm not getting it to work, but I'm getting kind of like a reply from you guys, which is good. So something's working.
It's at least authenticating.
It's not. I can't get a token yet. That's where I'm kind of stuck.
Okay.
So I've got a couple different different grant types. I'm trying to figure out which one is the correct one. If I do, I did try client credentials. That was coming back and telling me it didn't like the grant type in my header, and I think I need that. So I kind of eliminated that one. But I'm kind of looking to see what the right setup will be here. Go ahead.
It's just it's a bearer token that you're getting. That's it. It should be. It's not JWT. It's not SAML.
Yeah, so I got to pick one of these for service. Service now has different terminology. What's that?
Did you try the authentication code one and see if it'll give you a token?
I just was trying that. I'm getting kind of the same message no matter which one I pick, and I think I might be doing something wrong.
What's the message you're getting?
Well, I can show you the one. Here, we'll do authorization code for both of these. So there's a couple different places I can test this. Let me go down. This one was giving me more information, so let's do this one. I got that stupid thing blocking my. There we go. So I got this endpoint from Andrew. It seems to be better than other things, because I actually do get a response. So if I test this one, so I am getting a no such key on this one. This is a different type of way I can do a test. So that was interesting to me. I think this is you guys saying that to me.
You're right. The specified key does not exist.
Do you know what that might allude to? So I've got the headers set up, based on the documentation. And I generate keys for the user that they set up for me. And I just don't know, maybe does that user not have enough access, or did I do something wrong generating the key? I don't know if it's the keys that are the issue or not.
What's the user they set up for you?
This guy right here.
All right.
So I went ahead and generated the keys myself. These access keys, and that's what I used. Is that what I'm supposed to use? I would assume.
Yeah, those are the keys that you use. We won't know the secret key, but
Yeah. Well,
so-
yeah, I'd have to create another one to get, but I was fairly careful about copying and
This
pasting
is-
stuff.
this one's set up with an agent role, Tom, which is probably why he's getting that.
Say that again. So he said, oh yeah. So if that's
It's-
yeah, he would need an API account or something with the ability. He wouldn't be able to do it with an agent role.
Well, and you could do it with an admin one, probably.
Yeah, but we
Cool.
have there should be a role that's already set up for the API usage. It's already in place that I would imagine would work.
You are correct. I just don't see it. Where?
Because Andrew's using it for their API access they're doing for their dashboards and stuff that they're already using.
Yeah,
just
I'd
don't-
asked to copy his account. So,
Yeah, but it's not his account. It's a different user. It's a
well,
Like
yeah, I'd
a-
asked to copy whatever account he was using.
yeah. I don't know what that system access role that he's using. I'd have to get in and take a look.
You want to just see if we can figure it out real quick?
Just type in API or something in there.
The only thing comes up if we type in API is his ServiceNow one.
Oh, hey, Paul Sandlin, are you able to ping Andrew real quick and see what user the API or what role or what the username of the API account is?
Yeah, we could ask. By the way, the application is used, and it's called Seams, it's SEIMS. But specifically, what's the question I'm asking?
What's the username of the API account he's using for the dashboard?
Can I ask you a question? 'Cause just for sake
Yeah,
of time, if I put myself as an administrator for now, will that bypass? Like that'll just give me
It should,
that'll
yes.
that'll work, and then we can figure out what Andrew has later.
Yeah, ultimately, that's correct.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's do
I
that for
see it.
now.
I see an app dev one in here, Tom, that has the Savlink.
That might be what it is the app dev count then. But
Yeah,
I
what-
would look at it.
I'll switch you, Greg. Hang on.
I guarantee
Okay.
that's it, in fact, because that's one we reserve.
All right. Well, if that's my issue, I'm kind of annoyed because it's been last like
I
hours.
swear it's
What's
an
wrong
in-ear
with my
issue.
headers? What am I doing wrong? I hope that's it. I'm sure there's
Yeah,
other things.
So I gave you the one that Andrew's user is using. So let's try that.
All right, let's give it another poke and see what I did wrong now. At least we can get past that. Nah, it's looking at this no such key. But that could have, when I was doing my trial and error, I might have been doing something right at some point, but it wasn't working because I didn't have the right access. So I thought I saw somewhere in the documentation, can't find it now, that I needed this one. Let me just try something real quick.
Yeah, switch it up. I mean, you have admin access now to the system. So
And you
Yeah,
followed those steps, Greg, to encode the keys and all that kind of good jazz. Is that correct?
I'm following them. I can't get past the get auth token steps. I set up like these headers and stuff I went through the step that got me these things. I didn't see anything about what grant type to pick, so that's where I'm kind of guessing. But I did. These are all the headers that I've got to pass. What happened to my?
So that DOJ one, that's the regular key ID. I obviously I don't see the secret key. Is that QC
But you
one?
shouldn't be able to see in. I don't think you. I think they should be all something encoded.
No, you can see an access key manager. You can see what.
Oh,
access
can you?
keys were-
Okay.
Yeah, what keys were actually generated for that user, but I can't see that on the one that's on the password. Is that the secret key?
Yeah, it gives it to you once and then it hides it. I'll change it later, but that's what it is now.
All
That's what it'll be all the time, unless you change the keys, unless you get a new set of keys.
Yeah. I just like that. Once we're done with development, might try to
So it
secure
says
this a little
grant
better
type
and
is
create
password. Usernames, access key, password, secret key.
He's using AppDev at savvylinks.com.
Okay, it's the AppDev account, right?
Let me just try now that we updated that. And what does this do now? Still no key. There is another test. There's another thing we could do, which gives us a little bit different kind of interaction. So if it gives me the pop-up for username and password. Let's see what I'm getting now that we gave myself rights. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's kind of I was hoping for this call to kind of eliminate silly things. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong because I'm missing. I'm new to this. Let's see. Yeah, I've been getting this like from this place. I've been getting, invalid requests, invalid authentication headers. So I'm not sure. That's when I'm like, do I have the wrong setup on the authentication piece with this credential send, but or this,
So
So I
here's
keep-
here's the thing in the instructions on
Mhm.
retrieving an access token. It says add an x-www.form URL encoded body containing the following values. And those
Yeah.
following values are all those bits and parts, right? The password, the access key, secret key, and stuff like that. Is that what this is doing?
Yeah, so what this should be doing. So this
What-
tells it to do that type of.
Yep. Okay.
Can you under the username and password? Can you put in that username and password that you just tried that other piece with? Because because you got the keys listed in there. The keys are associated with the actual user.
It does say to put the keys in there from the
Yeah, the
documentation.
username should be the access key and the password should be the secret key.
You know what? But that gives me an idea. What if I try it from that login screen instead of using let's use the key. Oh, what did I just do? Oh no, don't get excited. That's the other API I've got working for something else. All right, what if I put in the
Put in those
this?
keys.
What if I put this in the username and what will that do?
If you selected client secret post, now all that stuff has to be done, including the client ID and the client secret.
Yeah, which I do have in the header.
Yep, I see that. Okay. Yep.
That's why I was like, oh, I should have just done basic because I could have passed it through from the other piece. So yeah, that just tells me I'm, something's up with my endpoint or like these are the things I'm just guessing on. This I got from Andrew. I don't know if he's doing something different and I need to be pointing to something else. And I just don't. I'm kind of unsure on
That's fine.
if I'm doing something with the grant type. So you think the endpoint is fine? I don't need
I think the endpoint's fine because he has access to the account just as much as you would need it. So. And the unfortunate part of this, Greg, too, just to be completely honest, everything that we do associated to any API stuff is best effort. We don't have API support personnel other than to make sure our API endpoints are available. So as far as the configuration piece of it, if the person happens to have the knowledge, then they can help as best they can. So we're kind of limited on what we can and can't do related to the APIs, but Andrew may be a better person to talk to since he has created it already and it's working for him. He might be able to share and whatever really on what he has on how he's hitting it versus what you're doing and kind of get to the same point. So
well, it does look like I might have the wrong API here because it's saying the specified key does not exist, and then the key it has what I have in the endpoint. So, anyway, yeah, I can ping him if he's got it working as long as we're hitting the same type of API. If he's
it'd be the same endpoint, yeah.
If he's hitting something different than me,
it'll be the same endpoint for sure, right? And with my knowledge of APIs, it looks like you have everything set up right to get it.
Yeah, so I something.
I think it has to do with how those things are encoded to get through our global auth stuff now that we changed it last year.
So yeah, he told me to try this endpoint.
Yeah, which is at the end of the day, the first one resolves to the second one. So the cx1-gov.niceincontact.com
Yeah,
and whatever, it essentially resolves to that NA2 piece of it. So you would want to use that NA2, that
Well-
second URL that's listed there.
this one right here.
The one above.
No, the one that you have up above, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one I'm using right now. Let me
Did you
just.
try all these? Did you try all these endpoints?
No, I hadn't even gotten that far because thought I was doing something wrong over here. Let me just try that one for shits and giggles.
Trying to look and see what it says.
Unauthorized. So that means the other one's probably the right one.
Yeah.
Because at least I'm getting kind of. Well, let me think about it. Am I getting past that point and just telling me I'm not authorized? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go through the document again and see. I think here I'm getting this because my endpoint is I need to just define the table or something like that. Because this is telling me this is wrong. Because this is the actual get test, like testing if you can go there. But then this one just getting the auth token, I need to get past this. And this is the one that's telling me my headers are wrong. So
You want me to,
do you have any like other, I know last time we met, like we couldn't figure out with the redirect or something for you guys, and you guys like to put in ServiceNow, and one of you guys tracked that down. Do you have any templates like this that other people have set up that you could share in ServiceNow or no?
From NICE?
If somebody like, do you have any other clients that use ServiceNow and
I wouldn't know of any. I don't know the
access your system from ServiceNow?
I don't know of any either, and I don't know that we would have anything that we could get for you.
Okay.
I'm trying to look just to see if I can find and confirm the endpoint aspect of things for FedRAMP. So I thought we would have listed.
Yeah, something's not right here. I wonder if I regenerate the keys now that we gave them elevated access, if that would make a difference.
I don't
Probably
know that it's going to. but-
Probably not, yeah. All right, well, I know we're kind of over. As long as you're not seeing anything I'm obviously doing wrong, I will keep poking at this because I know it's kind of a ServiceNow thing and how they set these things up versus like someone who's just coding it. So I might be doing something wrong.
if you want me to request the credentials a little differently also, I'll do that too.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fine. The only difference is that I've got to pass these into the header with the post.
Okay.
And for some reason, it's not liking my headers right now.
Yeah, and I'm not a person to help you with it anyway. So APIs
Yeah.
are foreign to me. So
Yeah, I was more wondering if you guys had an example or something or some, because I was under the impression there'd be steps by step. This is how you do it in ServiceNow. So if there's anything out there, but it sounds like there's
we
not.
don't have anything like that. Yeah.
It's fine. I feel like I'm kind of close because I am getting kind of like, hey, it's having some issue with that. Maybe I need to append on like the table or something like that. I was just thinking. like I might have to do something like this. I'm just, who knows? I'm not authorized to that one. Okay. All right. Well, I will keep poking around your documentation and see if I can figure this out.
All right.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I've seen, Greg, just to put my 2 cents back in, is on how all of that stuff is looped together with this key, the secret key, the client ID, the client secret, and how that has to be put into a particular format for it to be able to come across. So just those are the places I've seen people struggle. And once they get that piece of it right, then everything else seems to kind of work. But it's how that's all wrapped up with the keys and how they need to be entered and then all that kind of good jazz. So I think that'd be step 2 in the documentation that's available in that getting started. Or no,
Yeah.
not step 2. I think it's
That's-
step 3 maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think I'm stuck, is because I did yeah.
Yeah, so the FedRAMP
That's
moderate.
That's what I'm doing right. That's what I'm doing right now, right here, is the
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the FedRAMP moderate environment is at cx1-gov.niceincontact.com. So if you go to step 4 in our documentation.
Oh yeah, I got all that. So that's
But that's not the endpoint. The endpoint is at CX1.
that's the that gives me the auth token URL and the authorization URL. I think the auth endpoint and the endpoint that I'm trying to query is different.
Yeah, so
I gotta go to the
URL.
I gotta go to the auth endpoint to get your token.
Okay.
And I think this endpoint is what table am I querying, kind of thing.
Okay.
I think they're different. So you think maybe try putting this. I don't think that token's supposed to go here, but I could try it. I'm willing to try anything at this point. So
Yeah, that's annoying. I feel for you, man.
Yeah, all I know is on step 4, it says set up authentication. It says determine your issuer URL and use one of these, and it's a cx1.gov site, not the NA2.
Right.
Yeah, so that's for the token. So I did do that. I actually ran this against the the .gov, and I got the proper values for the
Okay.
for those. But I think that's different than this endpoint. That's for this part. That's for retrieving the token. But I think this is something else. Actually, probably why this isn't working is because I'm not getting the token. So I probably need to go back to this step and figure out how to get the token first.
Sure.
I was just trying to jump ahead because this had a little bit more info.
Sure.
So.
I get it.
All right, I'll play around. I can figure it out, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thanks for helping me on that user account. That's probably going to eliminate another headache. So.
Yeah, and I think Chuck, are you still logged in, or do you need me to kind of change that user access to the one that Alex said is being used for the
I actually already changed his role for that user.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So his user is set to the SavvyLink admin.
Oh, so his role, you have his SavvyLinks approved. I think it's the roles, the user. What was that user account?
App dev. I put the SavvyLinks admin approved. That's the one that one has.
He's using that. Yeah, that's probably a problem too.
That's what app dev is.
No, I understand that, but that's probably a problem. So we shouldn't have an admin account for APIs, because if anybody ever gets in there, now they're an admin in the system. They should have limited access through the APIs, not full admin access, I think. So
I totally agree. I was just.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
all fine.
We could tighten it a little later.
I think so. So I'm gonna go look at the role and just see, so. Maybe it's not the one I'm thinking of, and it's. Yeah, no, it's a bit of a, I think it should be potentially a problem.
Yeah, I don't know that we have one for API in here though.
No, we don't.
Right.
So we'll have to talk about, I'll talk about it with Paul and team later. I think we're gonna have to, I think it's just a bit of a risk, Paul.
I agree. We
So,
should
I
tighten it
think we
down.
should limit what that account can and can't do versus having admin access and being able to do whatever it wants, so.
Yeah,
There's a draft one in there for API access, which is we should probably continue that one and build that for this.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it and see, and then they can play with it from there. Okay,
I'm just playing. You guys can go, unless you think you can help me.
I got
The
it.
only thing I think someone on your side
I got a draft too.
might be
So-
able to help me with down the road is if I get really stuck is like some of these error messages are coming back from you guys. So maybe you have more logging on your side about what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, that's probably not you.
yeah, that's the API, which is external to all of us.
Yep,
Oh, this isn't coming back from them. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a different system.
All right. All right. We'll figure it out. All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
thanks, everybody.
No, it's Friday, and I
Okay.
appreciate it very much. It's very helpful.
Yeah, thanks for the late call, Paul.
Yeah, 5
Yeah,
o'clock
Paul.
next Friday.
Kidding.
I'm pretty sure I suggested the time.
Paul.
I told Paul 4 o'clock's the best time.